This is CBC Here and Now.
They helped Newfoundland and Labrador for a long time, and now some people say it's time for Newfoundland and Labrador to help them.
We'd have frozen it with a Newfoundland pony, so we owe it to the ponies to save them.
Coming up on Here and Now.
Our next weather maker moving in, bringing rain to parts of the eastern portion of the island, and then we've got some snow on the way as well. I'll have all the details coming up.
The City of St. John's 2021 budget has passed. We're going to get reaction from a councillor who voted against it and the Firefighters Union. I'm Jeremy, and that story coming up on Here and Now.
Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Anthony Germain.
And I'm Carolyn Stokes. Those stories just ahead, but first.
We start tonight with an unbelievable allegation. A correctional officer performing a dental procedure on an inmate while another officer watches and films it. Lawyer Bob Buckingham has filed a lawsuit on behalf of that inmate. It's a bizarre story. CBC's Heather Gillis has the details.
When Blair Harris, an inmate at the Bishops Falls Correctional Center, needed dental surgery in October, correctional officers Ron McDonald and Roy Goodyear brought him to the Gander Family Dental Clinic. Harris was unconscious during surgery under the care of Dr. Louis Bourget. That's where it's alleged McDonald performed some of the dental work on the inmate while Goodyear filmed and then shared the video. Lawyer Bob Buckingham is representing the inmate, Blair Harris.
He has no recollection of it. He was fully sedated. He came to on the way back to the correctional center after the surgery, and so it was none the wiser until a couple of weeks later.
That's when the prison superintendent told Harris about the video. The officers were fired, and Buckingham says his client needs another surgery. Teeth fragments were left behind in his gums.
This case brings out every single issue that you can possibly think of in terms of negligence, intentional torts of assault and of battery, breach of privacy. We're going to be seeking punitive and exemplary damages and aggravated damages.
As for the video, Buckingham says he hasn't seen it, and neither has his client. He says it's in the government's hands, and he'll get a copy once the lawsuit progresses. In the civil suit, Buckingham will also ask a judge to decide if correctional officers have a duty to step up if they see another officer harming an inmate.
That has not been something which has been tested in Newfoundland, and we're looking forward to a test case moving ahead on that.
The Justice Department can't comment on the matter because it's before the court and won't confirm if the officers were fired, citing confidentiality. The RCMP confirms a matter involving correctional staff in Bishops Falls is under investigation. The Newfoundland and Labrador Dental Board, which licenses dental professionals, says the oral surgeon in question is still practicing. They haven't seen a copy of the video, and they also haven't received a formal complaint, something they believe they need to determine a course of action. Heather Gillis, CBC News, St. John's.
Well, 2 men have died in 2 separate ATV incidents. Both took place in the last 24 hours. They happened in Forteau and Placentia. In one instance, a man became trapped under the vehicle when he lost control while attempting to load the ATV into the back of a truck. In the other incident, 2 men were trapped under an overturned side-by-side. The driver managed to free himself and go for help, but the passenger died at the scene. Police say none of the men involved in either incident was wearing a helmet at the time. So far, 17 people have died in incidents involving off-road vehicles this year.
Well, it was a little chilly today across the board. Temperatures sitting just in the single digits, 5 degrees in St. John's, 3 in Corner Brook. We've got temperatures hovering around the 0-degree mark for most areas, certainly below up through Labrador. Happy Valley, Goose Bay seeing a low near, or high near rather, -2 this afternoon. Now we do have some showers making their way, which are heavy at times for most of the Avalon right now, even towards Clarenville and even Gander right now reporting drizzle. That is all going to change as we head through the overnight tonight. An area of low pressure is developing and heading our way, and it is prompting some snowfall warnings for parts of central Gander, Bonavista North, even Grand Falls, Windsor, Buck in the Buckens in the interior and then the Canagra Peninsula, all in those snowfall warnings, as well as some wind warnings in place for the east. Now I'm just going to quickly show you what's going to happen as we head through the overnight tonight. That drizzle that's happening through central will change over to snow, which will be heavy at times. Looks like the rain snow line will be just west of Bonavista Peninsula as well as Clarenville. So anything west of that will fall as snow tonight, and then heavy rain will continue for most of the evening. I'll track that and tell you how much is on the way when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. A $35.4 million balanced budget was unveiled in Brook last night. Good news for the city of less than 20,000. Residential and commercial property taxes won't go up, and neither will fees. No job losses either. The city lost revenue due to the pandemic shutdowns, but managers took action back in March when COVID first hit and found ways to save $1.5 million.
No, I think it's a sense of, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I look at St. John's, and they didn't have a tax increase, but they've had rate increases and fee increases, and we've really tried to hold the line on that. So I think I look at that as a plus and as a positive.
And Brook will actually reduce taxes by 10% for more than 100 businesses in the tourism industry, restaurants and hotels that were greatly affected by the pandemic. 16 larger operations like grocery, retail and department stores will pay more in business taxes.
Well, the tourism industry had a rough year this past year. That's an understatement. We want to make sure, because we've identified tourism as a strategic priority, that when COVID is gone and we get our tourists back, which will happen, that we haven't decimated our tourism operators, our restaurants, our hotels, all the important people in our hospitality industry. So that's why we're doing, again, a small tax break there.
Well, from the west to the east, the City of St. John's passed its 2021 budget, but it hasn't won everybody over, and that includes some councillors. Metrobus, sidewalk snow clearing, as well as firefighter staffing came up as issues even before the budget was presented. And while some issues have been addressed, some councillors still aren't on side. Here now's Jeremy Eaton has more.
I don't believe this budget strikes a balance that the people of Ward 4 would want me to support.
Without an additional investment in Metrobus and sidewalk snow clearing, Councillor Ian Froud made his thoughts on Budget 2021 quite clear. Fellow Councillor Maggie Burton feels the same way.
I didn't support a permanent reduction of $500,000 to the Metrobus operating budget, and because we didn't do anything to work on improving sidewalk snow clearing, which has been the main, core service that I've seen as being underfunded since I've joined council.
Burton and Councillor Jamie Korab were recently named to the St. John's Transit Commission, meaning they have to help find an additional $500,000 a year.
Thankfully, Councillor Lane advocated and was successful in reversing the cuts to winter frequency. Gives the Commission a bit more time to figure out how they're going to find that $500,000 down the road. So I'd anticipate a lot of conversations about that in 2021.
The city will be having talks with its fire departments as well. Last night, Councillor Dave Lane says the overtime costs there have doubled in the past 4 years. But firefighters are willing to sit down, even prepared a report for City Hall.
To present to the city manager on a risk analysis of the city. They're willing now to meet with us in the new year. We can look at the budgets, look at cost overruns, and see if there's any way we can provide some efficiencies within our department in an operational perspective to help them meet their fiscal goals.
The Firefighters Union isn't sure if this is a short-term or long-term solution. For them, it's all about safety.
This is the taxpayers' money. This is public money. And I'm a resident of St. John's. I pay my taxes. So it's also concerning for me as a taxpayer, but more importantly concerning for me because it's not about our jobs. My job is not at risk, but the life and safety of every citizen and my families and your families is at risk with this situation.
And on the topic of risk, Burton says she's heard from those who will spend a long winter inside due to the current sidewalk situation.
We've put in little bits of money into sidewalk snow clearing and invested in, staff time to review the networks and provide changes to routes and all of that. But it's been not transformative yet. So the change is incremental, and I'm happy to support it if it's in the service of something larger. But this budget didn't have any of that at all.
Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, St. John's.
Now, with those spending decisions, the Railway Coastal Museum is still going to be closing. The Johnson family opened that museum in St. John's and then turned it over to the city, but it has seen far fewer visitors in recent years. That closure will save the city about $200,000 next year. Councillor Dave Lane spoke about the closure for the first time yesterday, saying the city is hoping to find another use for that museum.
We've been looking with another partner to see if there's another, kind of more modern use for the building that would really kind of be an evolution of that asset. We haven't really been discussing it yet because we want to get all our ducks in a row with that partner and make sure that we have everything sorted out before we make announcements. So the announcement's kind of getting ahead of us a little bit, but I think that when all is said and done, I think those who value the building for sure will be happy that we were absolutely retaining that the building will be as is. The programming and the artifacts within, we are going to be finding solutions for all of that. If some of it will certainly stay in the building, maybe we can have some programming alongside with whatever we do.
Well, the group representing municipalities across the province says it's a challenge for them to balance budgets this year. Municipalities Newfoundland and Labrador says towns have had unexpected increased costs because of COVID-19. Those costs include buying new technology for employees working from home and the expense of increased cleaning.
Stability is really important to plan for the future, but right now we need stability in order to rebuild from the past year. So we are trying to make $2 out of one. We didn't have no extra to start with. And so the conversation around our municipal table is how do we maintain stable waters so that one, we don't have to increase taxes, two, we don't have to cut any services, and at the same time make it through 2021 without having to raise our taxes.
Well, to another story now. Newfoundland pony advocates are raising money to promote and preserve the once ubiquitous work animal. The ponies helped residents of this province to survive for centuries, and now it's the ponies that need our help. Here now, as Mark Quinn reports.
He's some kind, buddy.
Ponies like these were everywhere when 74-year-old Clifford George was a boy, but they weren't pets. They were necessary to build homes and heat them, and they served the fisheries too.
I went in the woods with my father, and we used to pass people all day long bringing out lumber for to build houses, bringing lobster traps down to the wharf on dray carts, going out bringing the cod traps down on the wharf in dray carts. That's what the pony did every day of his life. He worked for Newfoundlanders.
There were once thousands of Newfoundland ponies here, distinct animals descended from horses in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, but adapted to this province's harsh conditions. Faithful and hard-working, they put in long days hauling wood. But now that they've been replaced by motorized vehicles like ATVs and trucks, there are fewer than 200 left on the island. George fears they'll disappear.
They were responsible for more or less keeping us alive. We'd have frozen it without Newfoundland pony. So we owe it to the ponies to save them.
This is Brandy, one of many that George has kept over the years. Decades ago, ponies like these were being sold by the dozen to slaughterhouses. Back then, George did save some of them, like Skipper the stallion. He bought horses at 50 cents a pound to keep them off the meat trucks. And now the Newfoundland Pony Society is working on another plan to help these ponies.
We're trying to have a place the pony can call home and people can come see the pony.
The group has secured a 50-year lease on Crown land in Hopewell, where they're establishing a heritage park, a pasture for ponies, and a place to raise awareness about them. The society says $250,000 should get it up and running.
They need us now. We needed them years ago. Now they need us. So let's get together and make sure we don't lose this animal.
The pasture is empty now, but some people like Weber and George hope that someday, in the not-too-distant future, it will be a place where the public can come to see as many as 20 Newfoundland ponies like these ones, running freely. Mark Quinn, CBC News, Hopewell, Trinity Bay.
There is one new case of COVID-19 in the province to tell you about today. This time, it's a man in the eastern region. He's in his 50s. Now, this case is travel-related. The man tested positive after returning home from work in the Northwest Territories. He's reportedly self-isolating and contact tracing is underway. Meanwhile, still no answer about the source of a breakout in Harbour Breton over the weekend. Health officials are asking people living in that area to stay home as much as possible, avoid gatherings, and avoid businesses outside the community while those 2 cases are being investigated. Now, a new poll suggests Newfoundlanders and Labradorians do plan to socialize this Christmas more than people in any other province. A survey by Angus Reid shows that 59% of people in this province plan to socialize this Christmas. They said they intended to visit local friends and relatives. 16% said they plan to visit relatives and friends in another community or province. Now, that's compared to 30% of people nationally who said they intend to socialize this Christmas. The margin of error is plus or minus 6 points, 19 times out of 20. This survey comes at the same time health officials are reminding people about the gathering rules for Christmas holidays. Yesterday, Dr. Sheila Fitzgerald clarified those rules.
I know that people still have questions about contacts versus close contacts, so I will address this now. The difference between a contact and a close contact is not defined by how you know the person or your interpersonal relationship with them, but by how often you interact with them, the setting you interact with them, how close in proximity you interact with them, and how long in duration the close interaction is. Again, it is defined by people, space, time, and place. Separating your contacts from your close contacts is a conscious and deliberate decision that each of us needs to make, similar to how you decided who is in your bubble. We need to start having open and honest discussions with our friends and family about their expectations for the holiday season and take stock of how many people we interact closely with. A gathering in close quarters should only be with your close, consistent contacts. What we mean by close quarters is a home, sharing a table at a restaurant, for example. You should not attend a gathering with one group of 20 on one night and an entirely different group on another night. 20 for 2020 means that you choose up to 20 close friends or family, and these are the same individuals that you interact with over the holidays in close settings. While it is not recommended, if you do find yourself at an indoor gathering with people outside your close contacts, maintain at least 6 feet of physical distancing, and there should be no self-serve food options, and bathrooms must be well stocked and cleaned regularly. If that's not the situation, you should reconsider your choice.
More bad news about flight options in this province. Air Canada says it's cutting more flights to Atlantic Canada in the new year. The move comes as the country's largest airline faces ongoing low demand during the pandemic and the end of the region's travel bubble. Starting January 11th, Air Canada will stop all passenger flights to Sydney, Nova Scotia, and St. John, New Brunswick. Some other services temporarily suspended include Halifax and Deer Lake, Charlottetown, and Fredericton. The company says it's increasingly hard to operate in this challenging environment. In June, Air Canada had already announced indefinite suspensions of several routes in Atlantic Canada. Canada's airline industry has been calling for federal support amid an unprecedented drop in demand and revenue.
Well, as part of our Make the Season Kind campaign, we're celebrating stories of kindness as we raise funds for local food banks. And tonight we have the story of a group of volunteers that came together to help out during Snowmageddon. That seems a long time ago, doesn't it? But long after that storm had passed, this group's energy and outreach just kept on snowballing. So say hello to Neighbours in Need Newfoundland.
I often describe this group as magical. And things do happen magically.
Hi everybody, my name is Courtney Barber and I'm the owners of Neighbours in Need Newfoundland. Neighbours in Need is a Facebook group and we started back in the big snowstorm back in January. I was sitting up here in Alberta watching all of my friends and family back home, so I decided that I could help in a big way. We went to 5,000 members in the first 18 hours. We had a big rescue crew that was going around shoveling people out of their homes. We were delivering food, connecting neighbors to their neighbors. Just the vulnerable people that we were exposed through during those couple of weeks just made us realize that we needed to keep going. We've done so many things, from fixing, broken pipes in somebody's house, to mending a fence that's blown down, to, helping somebody replace their glasses. Some weeks we're delivering 150 meals. Special occasions we're delivering up to 300. Groceries is like a huge thing. We really try to focus on helping people get fruits and vegetables and meats. We've delivered up to 20, 30 grocery orders per week. We are doing our Christmas Miracles Drive, where we have selected our most vulnerable that we work closely with. Right now that list is at 60 people. Debbie is amazing. She is a part of our team, and when we started the Christmas Drive, she was like, you know what, I got lots of room, so let's use my place. And she has been the donation center. Her and her son William have been wrapping as they come in, and it's just been wonderful.
Hi, I'm Lorinda Simmons. I'm a volunteer with Neighbours in Need.
Thank you. You're more than welcome. Merry Christmas.
I joined this group when COVID struck because I was laid off from my job and I needed things to do, and I thought it was a great way of contributing and giving back to the community. What I'm usually met with is somebody who is smiling because they know their needs are being met, because maybe they haven't eaten for a number of days and they have a bag of groceries. So usually people are very, very happy and very, very grateful. And as an individual and a volunteer, that's really satisfying to see that you can help somebody else out.
They helped me out because I've been going through some rough times. They provided me with food, even with the little shoes I have on my feet here, but kindness. Like, just the kindness of them. They're happy to see me, and I am happy to see them. And when I can give back again, I will.
You're living all the way on the other side of the country. What's driving you to do all of this organizing and outreach here in your home province?
We're a family. Like, we've grown such an amazing team of people. I couldn't imagine not being a part of that. And it's my home. Like, it doesn't matter where you live or where you go to. Your heart's in Newfoundland when you're a Newfoundlander, and that's where my heart is. I might live here, but my heart is at home with all of you guys, and I just love it.
Well, taking a look outside, you can see that rain has certainly started here in St. John's. This is going to be snow for parts of Central, and it will be heavy. I'll have all those details and your full forecast coming up.
some nasty weather on the way, Ashley. I guess we've been spoiled for long enough with some of these gorgeous days that we've had in the east.
Oh, for sure. Temperatures have been absolutely stunning today. Not so much, but still sitting around where we should be for this time of year. Let's take a look at that. Temperatures anywhere from 3 to 5 degrees, a little cooler along the northeast coast, and then temperatures below 0 for most of Labrador. Minus 11 was the afternoon high in Lab City. Temperatures have dropped a degree for you and a few degrees for the island as well. You can see Gander down to about 1 degree right now, and that will continue to drop as we head through the overnight tonight. Just taking a look at the current satellite and radar, you can see lots of shower activity, some rain, heavy down along the southern portion of the Avalon right now, and then it's starting to pick up on some of that snow for Central, and that's generally going to continue as we head through the overnight tonight. So let's time that out. As we head into the overnight, that's when we're going to start to see that heavy snow develop. Rain snow line at this point looks like it should be just west of Clarenville, likely around Terra Nova. Anything west of that will fall as snow, and anything east of that will be rain, which again, like I said, will be heavy at times tonight. That will continue into the first half of tomorrow morning. You might start to see some ice pellets mix in as well tonight for Clarenville, Bonavista Peninsula, but overall that rain snow line should stay well west of you. And then as we head into the early morning hours, again, we'll start to see some of that mixing. Temperatures will climb tonight for the Avalon. 9 degrees by the time the morning rolls around for St. John's, and those winds will be easterly anywhere from 40 to 60 kilometers per hour, hovering around the 0 degree mark as you head towards Central, and then along the west coast, you're looking at either flurries in the inland areas and the higher elevations, and then potential for some showers along the coast, and then flurries up through Labrador. Not a whole lot going on, just going to continue to see that onshore flow, and flurries or light snow for coastal areas. Here's a look at what to expect as far as snowfall goes. Bullseye still looking like it's going to be Gander, Bonavista North tonight, even the Canagra Peninsula. You could see anywhere from 10 to as much as 25 centimeters of snow. And what does fall will be very wet tonight and very heavy as well. The further west you go, the significantly less snow, 5 to 10 centimeters, and then along the coast, again, will fall as rain, but inland and higher elevations, you could pick up a couple of centimeters, 5 centimeters by the time tomorrow afternoon rolls around. So, as far as what will happen tomorrow, it'll likely end as showers or flurries tomorrow afternoon. Lingering potential to see the accumulating snow for areas like Bonavista North, even Green Bay, White Bay. You could see some more snow bringing some of those accumulations up. But other than that, things should actually clear out. Along west coast, you'll see the potential for flurries or showers continue for most of tomorrow. Not a whole lot happening for Labrador as well. Maybe along the straits, you'll see some accumulating snow into the interior, at least further inland areas. As far as winds go, tonight they're going to ramp up, like I said, 40 to 60 kilometers per hour in the east, but watch what happens as we head through the overnight. They're going to drop off as that low starts to move over, certainly for eastern areas, and then as that low moves off in behind it, they're going to pick up again, and we're going to see widespread gusts anywhere from 70, 80 kilometers per hour in exposed areas, certainly along the coast there, the northeast coast for the Avalon. We could see gusts upwards of 100 kilometers per hour. First half of the day, then they'll ease below warning criteria, but still stay quite breezy into the afternoon tomorrow as well. Temperatures will be climbing up above 0, 2, 3, 4 degrees through the day. And again, that precipitation ending in the east and then continuing for parts of western portions of the island. Lab City, you'll sit around -8 tomorrow with the potential for some flurries as well. Now looking ahead, it is rain event for the Avalon right now, but as we head towards Thursday, it's looking like we are going to see the potential for some snow. Still have a few more model runs to look at to determine exactly what's going to happen, but it is looking like all indications showing that a low will track just south of the Avalon, and we could see some accumulating snow falling Thursday night into Friday, and then that'll move off fairly quickly into Friday afternoon, but then we will start to see some snow along the west coast as well. With some light snow expected through the day on Friday. Here's where we should be sitting temperature-wise on Thursday. Again, hovering around that 2-3 degree mark, so not really seeing too much in the way of changing. Sunshine to start, but again, that snow will likely move in late day and accumulate through the evening hours and the overnight. And then into Friday, temperatures again 0 to 2 degrees, so we'll see it either end as showers or continue to see those flurries again through central and along the west coast. Cool again for parts of Labrador, hovering just above zero though for Happy Valley, Goose Bay, sitting around 1 degree for you. As we head through the next 5 days, not really seeing the temperatures move within a few degrees of zero. That's pretty much it, and then below zero into the overnight hours. It does look like flurries through Saturday and Sunday are certainly possible. Might see a few sunny breaks in the mix as well for Saturday. And then for central and western Newfoundland, you're looking at temperatures below zero as we head towards the weekend, and overnight lows dipping into those mid-minus single digits. And again, unsettled with the potential for some flurries. For eastern Labrador, it's looking like sunshine, quiet but cool. And then for western Labrador, the potential for some flurries will move right back in, or at least light snow will move back in for Sunday. Wanted to share this beautiful shot, sunset in paradise. Ed shared that with us. If you have any you'd like to share, send them to nlphotos@cbc.ca.
Well, time for a feel-good Christmas story about a little boy who inspired a stranger. Timothy Bassler encountered a fellow shopper last week at the Dollarama on Elizabeth Avenue in St. John's. The shopper was so moved by his spirit, she wanted to meet him again and share why their exchange was so special. Cease Hare was there for the reunion.
Did you finish your shopping?
I did. I wrapped up some gifts and actually got some in the bag right here.
Oh, nice. You did some more shopping, did you?
Timothy Bassler, 10 years old, was shopping for Christmas gifts for family last week when Nita Loveman, on the left, noticed him filling his cart. She struck up a conversation with him and was so moved by his kindness, gave him money to help out. Now, new friends exchanging little gifts outside the same store, Loveman wanted to meet him again.
I don't know if I was feeling like nostalgic that day, or because I have grandkids, like amazing grandkids. I've been a child care provider for like 25 years. Not anymore, but I was. But it was just something about you and the way you spoke to me, and it's just, I don't know what it was. And you made me cry.
It was the Christmas spirit.
It's just something about him that day, and just that age. I have that money, normally you'd run around dollar store and throwing things in the cart for themselves, and instead he was just shopping for cousins. And then I thought, maybe he needs me. I was thinking all that day, and the next day I thought, maybe he needs me, maybe they need help. Be honest, I did. And I was like, you know what, no, I needed you that day. I did. I needed him that day. And you made me cry a lot.
So it was like a half day because I might have been getting report cards, or it might have been parent-teacher interviews. I can't remember, but I was planning on spending the day with my friends, but they were all doing something either together or like by themselves, so I couldn't do it with them. And then I was just like walking around the house asking Mom for something to do, and she's like, well, why didn't you go get your shopping done? I was like, okay, why not? And so then I went down here and I was just getting some stuff because, you know, Mom gave me like a little list for things that people want, and then I put them all in, and I was like, why don't I get some stuff for my family too? And then I put some stuff in, and I went to go pay for it. I met this nice lady.
Now, when you say nice, what do you mean by nice? What was it about her?
She was like all interested in what I was doing and like who it was for, and I was just paying for my stuff, and she was like, oh, I love your spirit, here. And I was like, no, I can't take it, I have enough money. And she was like, take it anyway, I don't need it either. And I was like, okay, if you insist. And then I went home and I wrapped them and I put on bows, and I writ on it like to whoever it was for from Tim. And I even like wrapped some for my brother and sister, and I just put their names on them, and they didn't even know I wrapped them. Like, this is the one I did for my mom.
Oh, it was so sweet. I mean, he had gone down to do some Christmas shopping, and I mean, Dollarama's within walking distance of our house, right? So that's why he comes over here. Yeah. And he said, I met this nice lady in line at the store, and she was so interested in what I was buying, and then she gave me $5, Mom, but I tried to give it back to her because I didn't need it. I had enough money, but she wouldn't take it back.
That's right.
That's right.
I walked out right at the store.
And what did you think about that?
I just thought it was sweet. I don't know. I mean, I think it's nice how our kids, and I think all kids, you know, they really want to be giving.
And Timothy, what do you think of all of this media attention?
Well, I was just kind of surprised. Like, I was just going to the store and I just like had this encounter, and I didn't think it would like get on the news somehow. I thought it was just like, oh, that's nice. He's happy. That's great. Just some Christmas cheer going around. I didn't think like, wow, it's gonna end up on the news. But at least now everybody will be hearing it.
And getting back to yourself, the present that you received today, what did you get? I just want to make sure I have
Some
that.
cookies that he made, the candy canes. See? Got all of them. Sweet.
Oh my, they look good.
I know. No, you're not getting any.
And you showed up, and you got a present today from Nita as well.
These are gift cards, apparently, for Dollarama, because that's where we met and that's where the magic happened.
Oh, that's where the magic happens.
Yes, he took us to where the magic happens. What a great story. What a great kid, too.
Yeah, such a simple but sweet encounter.
And he knows how to rap.
Yeah.
His gifts, yeah. I'll give you a call after here now tonight. I need your help. I'll give you $5 too.
Cities and towns in the province are having to make some tough budgetary choices. The City of St. John's has decided not to raise property taxes despite a projected deficit of between $10 and $12 million, but it is using fee and fine increases as a revenue generator. Meanwhile, Brook is choosing to raise taxes on some businesses rather than homeowners. And in CBS, no one is paying any higher taxes or fees. It's status quo there. Municipalities NL President Sheila Fitzgerald joins me now from Roddickton Bide Arm to talk more about this. Thank you so much for being here.
Good evening. Thanks for having me.
Well, Ms. Fitzgerald, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and it makes sense that municipalities don't want to add to the financial hardship of citizens by raising taxes. What are you hearing from municipalities who are trying to find that balance between fiscal and social responsibility right now?
What I hear is that this has been a particularly difficult year because of COVID, and we didn't budget for COVID. We didn't expect this, and so the increased cost has certainly put a strain on our budgets. And depending on location, size, and context, different municipalities of different sizes in different places around this province are experiencing balancing their budgets accordingly, I guess.
And do you have a sense of the overall financial health of municipalities in the province right now? How are municipalities doing budget-wise?
Well, we haven't got the final numbers. We're working closely with our members to find out, I guess, what this has meant for them in terms of being able to balance their budget. Because as a municipality, we can't run a deficit and we can't get loans for operational costs. So we've been working closely with our members to see what has been the impact of COVID-19. Unexpectedly, we've had an increase because of the need for extra sanitization, PPE, signage. Technology was certainly a huge barrier in the past, and certainly a big cost to us this past calendar year. So I know that municipalities right now are often struggling and are trying to figure out where to from here. But for one message I am hearing loud and clear, and that is municipal leaders are doing the best they can with the resources that they have to ensure that their municipalities are, one, safe, and two, to try to get around tax increases, if at all possible. But as we know, in some circumstances, this isn't possible. We've got one source of revenue, and that's through our property tax and commercial tax. And so, one of two things has to happen. If there's not enough money to balance our budget, either we cut services or have to raise taxes. For the most part, people are working really hard to balance budgets without having to do either or.
And of course, a lot of people are relieved that their taxes aren't going up right now. But what could that mean going forward? Are municipalities just kind of kicking the can down the road to get through the pandemic?
In the future, there's going to have to be some decisions made. Your mill rate determines what is the cost of your property tax. If that property assessment continues to decline, then that means there's going to be less revenue from property tax. We have no alternate source of revenue other than through taxation, property tax. So as time goes on, there's definitely going to be some hard decisions to be made. We are still in the middle of a global pandemic, and I believe that councils are very mindful of that. And so where possible, we're trying to maintain the best way we can without making any huge plans for the future. We know that we're going to get through this. It's going to be a different time, in a year or so from now. And so, as councils, we're challenged by making difficult decisions around short-term goals and long-term goals. And right now, the short-term goal is to ensure that our communities are safe and we're maintaining essential services.
All right, Sheila Fitzgerald, thank you so much for this.
Oh, thank you.
We've done a number of stories of some of the stores that are struggling on Water Street, but Outfitters is not one of those stores. Joining me now is the co-owner of the shop, Jonathan Earl. So bicycles and snowshoes selling quite well, I understand?
Bicycles, snowshoes, cross-country skis, it was hiking boots back in the spring of the year. We saw a great camping season. Yeah, people are looking to get outdoors and enjoy the time that they have locally. They've been exploring the island, and they're looking forward to winter. They want to get out there and enjoy stuff.
So why do you think this is happening?
I think, you know, people have they have some time on their hands, a more flexible work schedule perhaps. They're not traveling as much. Other organized activities aren't happening. They're able to social distance in the outdoors. Snowshoeing is a great thing for a couple people to do at a time. Cross-country skiing, same thing. You're well paced from each other. So no, that's why they're doing it.
So the increase in sales, though, this is pandemic related.
Oh, definitely this is pandemic related. I mean, certainly last year after Snowmageddon, I think people are hungry to, you know, get out and snowshoe and cross-country ski again this winter. But no, it's definitely the pandemic is driving it. Right now, we're seeing people shopping earlier as well for Christmas. I think they're nervous that maybe things might get shut down, or they got to get their list done before the end of December traditionally.
Well, whatever the reason, it's good news, Jonathan. Good to hear. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so that's the scene here if you're into outdoor sports like cycling and hiking and skiing. What about indoor sports? Well, you might also be out of luck. Here's Carolyn.
Thanks, Anthony. You know, not everyone wants to exercise outdoors, and pumping iron at a public gym may not be as appealing as it was pre-pandemic. So for some people, the solution is a home gym. I'm here at Spartan Fitness in St. John's with manager Peter Barnes. So, Peter, there are a lot of boxes around here. Can you tell me what all of this is about?
Well, most of these boxes, pretty well 90% of it's all pre-sold, pretty well since the pandemic hit back in March, really. Our normal showroom disappeared, and now we're just basically like a warehouse. It just comes in, goes out. We just put some stuff together to try so people can see what's actually available, but pretty well we're working off a tablet these days.
How much busier are you right now compared to years past?
Oh, it's 3 to 4 times what it was in normal time of this year. You know, weights and bikes and ellipticals and treadmills, and you know, since the gyms have closed, it's basically and reopened, but still people don't want to go back, so they're looking for racks and cages and home gyms. There's a lot of demand.
And what are customers saying when they come in?
First they ask if we're moving, or if we're just wholesale, if we sell to the public, and what happened to our showroom. And a lot of people have you know, given up on the gyms or taken a break. Now a lot of people will probably go back, you know, when everybody's vaccinated, I guess, again. But you know, it's definitely different from what it was before, and a lot of people are just setting up home gyms now, and a lot of people are working from home, so instead of just leaving now, they're doing it all. And probably I'd say 9 out of 10 people that come into the store probably did have gym memberships.
And how about finding stock right now? How difficult is it to find equipment to sell?
You know, in Newfoundland we live in our own bubble, which is great, but outside of Newfoundland, every distributor across the United States and Canada and the world is just like us, basically scrambling, trying to get more and more equipment, and we can't get it fast enough. So we're on lists and we place orders, and it shows up whenever they want it to show up, basically, or whenever they can produce it, you know. But pretty well in the fitness equipment world right now, like other industries, they can't produce it fast enough.
All right, well, Peter Barnes, thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care.
This year, we're connecting more, we're sharing more, and we're helping more. This season, whatever kind of season you make it, make the season kind.
Well, staying with Christmas kindness, the woman in our next story truly embodies the spirit of selflessness.
Yes, 41-year-old Jamie Webster is terminally ill, but her fight is for others in need. Jamie has been delivering massive holiday hampers to families.
And our CBC cameras in Winnipeg caught up with Jamie as she was spreading holiday cheer. Have a look.
Merry Christmas!
My elves are back. The reason that the idea started was because I created a bucket list. The bucket list was created because I am terminally ill with cancer. And one of the last items on said bucket list is to save a neighborhood. I did not know how to save a neighborhood until I heard that the Christmas cheer board was struggling this year. Then it was like, ding ding, light bulb. Now we know how to save a neighborhood. We've got everything from treats to baking goods, to potatoes, oranges, apples, onions. What isn't in the boxes is what somebody should be asking me. Santa said to me, hey lady, you got like some time to kill? Help me out this year. We have 11 families entirely to take care of this, and they're amazing people. They're amazing people that I hope to keep to friends for the rest of my time on the earth. One in each van, please. We have families that are on single parent incomes, no income. These families came up and I believe them and I love them already and I picked them. Woo! Here we go! Let them know we're here. Oh, are you guys ready? Hello! Hello, Mama! They just had to hit some musical string inside of me, and they were picked. Well, things maybe a bit early. I could have spent 10 months, 12 months in the hospital, regardless of what I would have chosen. I would have never been able to beat the last part. You got everything for family too? Yeah. Woo! Yay! I just can't believe that there are this many humans that are willing to help other humans. I won the lottery, and all I did was help them maybe an inch, and they came back a mile. 85 items are in my bucket list. There are 2 left to do. Only 1 I'm willing to share. As soon as Gimli will allow me, my husband and I are going to jump out of a perfectly good plane.
I want to know the other one.
I know, right?
Yeah, what a remarkable woman.
Yeah, very happy and also sad story.
Yeah.
So Ashley, we have some nasty weather on the way. Do you want to give us a little recap?
Yep, so some rain for eastern areas towards Clarenville, Bonavista, mainly rain, 20 to 40 plus millimeters tonight. And then anything west of that, mainly around Gander, Bonavista North, you're looking at anywhere from 15 to 25 centimeters of snow by tomorrow morning. So it won't be nice to clean that up.
No.
Sorry.
Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.